The Sports Lounge Media Show is brought to you by Cali Built Graphics. Welcome to the lounge.
That's right. Welcome to the lounge. You know what it is. It's Wednesday. When it's Wednesday, it's hump day. When it's hump day, it's the Sports Lounge Media. I'm super excited to get with you guys, along with both of our co-hosts, Sarai and Mark, up in the house. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this thing rolling. We are excited because we're going to be talking about Week 18 and also the first round of playoffs and our predictions on that. I'm just super excited to get with you guys and everything that we have to give to you guys. Again, thank you for the entire Sports Lounge Media community. And let's get this thing rolling. Let's start with Week 18. What games stuck out to you guys? Actually, not actually, but there was a bunch of implications that did happen throughout the week. We'll talk a little bit about that in Week 18 and what teams made it, what teams didn't because of it, and how the NFL got shaken up by that. But if you want to hear all the good gossip and all the things that are happening with coaches being fired, coaches being hired, everything that's going on with throughout the league, whether if it's more baby mamas happening by other people, don't forget on Fridays, T with Sarai will be able to give you all of that because we all know there's a lot of stuff that happened this week. A lot of coaches got fired. She'll be hopefully covering that this Friday. Check her out as she goes live. As we jump right into it, we jump into Saturday's game, January the 3rd, right into the new year in 26, and Happy New Year's to everyone that is out there. Hopefully you're starting off the year right as we are. But the Buccaneers end up winning that game 16-14 against the Panthers at home. Now, they were sitting on the couch waiting to see what happens in Atlanta, and we'll talk about that in a minute, because they had a shot. They had a shot to actually making it in because the Panthers, all they had to do was win to get in or wait and see if Atlanta lost that game to the Saints, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Seahawks ended up prevailing. Their defense showed up in a major way, didn't allow the San Francisco 49ers to score a touchdown, which is surprising to most because they've seen Brock Purdy play two games. Where he scored 5 touchdowns in each, and then they walk into the Seattle game and didn't score a single touchdown. They lost that game, and the Seahawks ended up getting that number 1 seed. They won that game 13-3. Sunday game, we start with the Commanders versus the Eagles. Eagles sat all of their starters. Still, we're very hoping that our backups could get the job done, but they did not. They did not prevail. Everybody was calling it Tanner time. Well, it wasn't. he lost it. It wasn't no Tanner time. But Tank showed up in a big way. I love how Tank ran the ball. And Devontae Smith did get his yards to get his 1,000 on the season, but they ended up losing that game 24-17. We move on to the Colts and the Texans. Texans still rolling with a strong defense. The rookie did play in that game for the Colts. Leonard, I believe his name, Riley. He played in that game. Played pretty well, by the way. But the Texans did keep rolling 38-30. They're a playoff. They are playoff bound. A game that really didn't matter, but everybody that's a fan of them watched it anyways. The Cowboys versus the Giants. Giants beat the Cowboys, y'all.
And they broke their streak. Their losing streak.
Yeah. And it was 34-17, and the starters were out there. So, I mean, you can't make the stuff up. You know what I mean? So they won 34-17. The Giants did against the Cowboys. The Browns beat the Bengals. They beat them 20-18. I don't know if that was a shocker to anybody, but they beat them. And by the way, I believe it was Brett Favre that did it for Michael Strahan, if I'm not mistaken. But Joey B took a sack so that Myles Garrett can get the sack record in that game. And the coach for the Bengals was pretty pissed off because they stopped the whole entire game so they can raise them up on their shoulders and celebrate the record. For me, I thought it was a good moment.
Celebrated a flop is what they did.
To me, I think it was a great moment. We haven't seen that sack record. He's been playing. A lot of players. We can agree they get their money and then they really don't play. I mean, he got his money and he played, so I give it to him. You know what I mean? 23 sacks on the season. That was major. But the Browns did win that game 20-18.
You know, the one thing I'm gonna hop in on that one right there. So a lot of people always talk about, you know, Brett Favre when he took that fall and it gave Strahan the sack record, and of course the guy that he broke, he still tries to fight Brett Favre all the time. You know, but the big thing is that Strahan came out after the sack record was broke because he was actually there at the game when it happened, and they happened to ask him, "How do you feel about it?" And he goes, "Well, people got to remember, he had 17 games. I only had 16." You know, so
He's rolling with what Eric Dickerson said when Saquon was on the
yeah, it's. I mean, and my answer to that is the same thing with Saquon and Dickerson. They had 17 and 16. Well, my answer is when Dickerson broke the record, OJ had 14. So, I mean, there's always going to be a difference, but people have to understand. Hey, if it happens, it happens. You know, I think Myles Garrett is a great player, but I was really upset that last sack, to me, that was not earned. That was a drop. It's like, okay, I might give you a half a sack just because you're in the vicinity, but he didn't deserve the full sack credit that he got, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, call it what it is, but what I would say is that it is more difficult to do what Myles Garrett did this season than it was when Michael Strahan played. Eras played a big difference because why? Like I said just earlier today in our meeting, was the fact that players are getting stronger and they're getting faster. They're getting more elite. So defensive and offensive lines are not the same like how they used to be. So for him to get what he got, it counted for me. It counted for me. It's difficult to do that in the NFL now when guys are playing at that particular level. But again, the Browns got it. They won that game 20-18. Carrying on. So Baker Mayfield sitting on his kitchen sink, sitting on the couch, waiting for what's going to happen. Didn't happen for you, brother. Not this year. You guys weren't healthy all season. Didn't get what you needed to get done. Could have won one more extra game. Kind of felt like last year's Chiefs versus Cincinnati Bengal game, and the Falcons ended up prevailing. Won that game. They won that game 19-17, and Morris still gets fired. He started winning late in the season to prove that he could still be a coach, and they said, "Nah, that didn't matter. Out of here." And they won, but they still won 19-17. Here was a bigger game: Packers versus Vikings. 16-3 in this game. There wasn't a touchdown scored by the Packers. Mark, did they sit their players? Did
everybody sat?
Yeah,
Clayton Tune was the starting quarterback, so it wasn't even Malik Willis. It was Clayton Tune. It was a third string quarterback. They said, "No, we're not even going to put backups in. We're going to run third stringers and squad."
But when we talk about the Detroit Lions, though, we always talk about next man up. Anyway, we can carry on. We can carry on.
No, I believe in next man up, not running third string in practice squad. Come on now.
Hey, last year they was playing with the bad boys. Lions. Somebody correct me in the chat, but Lions was playing with the bad boys, and they was winning. But anyway, we'll carry on with that. The Jaguars end up blowing out the Texans as they should. Good teams supposed to beat bad teams. They won 41-7. They were playing actually for the 1 seed, I believe.
They were.
They were playing for a 1 seed. So there are a lot of things that needed to happen, but didn't happen. The Rams were in a fight for the first half with the Cardinals, which makes me kind of hesitant to think about what they're going to look like in the playoffs because they've been looking shaky for the last 5 weeks. But they won 37-20. Garbage time. They won that game 37-20 against the Cardinals at home, by the way. The Chargers and the Broncos look like a playoff game, and it was a 19-3 win with the Broncos. that was an interesting game. By all means, the Chargers didn't score a touchdown either, but it felt playoff-ish. So we'll see what they look like in the playoffs. Both teams will be in the playoffs. And we move on to another game that really didn't
There was
matter.
also backups in with the Chargers.
Yeah, it was, and it felt competitive. That says a lot about the Broncos. But anyways, we'll carry on. Chiefs and Raiders. The Raiders won a game, guys. We thought that they were tanking, and they said, "No, ma'am, I'm going to win this game and make sure that I win the last game of the season, 14-12 against the Chiefs." Yeah, that's all that needs to be said
Did
about.
Travis Kelce shed a tear during that game as he was exiting? Is this his final game?
I don't know. We'll see on Sarai, Tea with Sarai on Friday. And then we walk into the Dolphins versus the Patriots. Again, good teams got to beat bad teams, 38-10 against the Dolphins. Lions and Bears. This is the game that the Eagles are waiting on. Lions did their job to help us out. They won 19-16 in that Bears game. That makes me believe that they do not have Bears do not have a defense at all. But
that first half was not so good for the Bears, for sure.
Not good at all. And to add to that, yeah, I mean, going into this next, they're gonna have to play against the Packers again, correct? In Soldier Field this time. So they both won at home. So I believe they Bears won in Soldier Field and Packers won in Lambeau. They're going back to Soldier Field. Can somebody pull up what the score was when they played in Soldier Field?
22-16 in overtime.
Oh, and it was an overtime game.
That was the overtime game.
Very interesting game. So we'll see what happens.
With also no healthy starters. They were running Malik Willis. Christian Watson barely saw part of the game. So again, you have had healthy guys now coming back. So I think you're going to see the Packers winning that one, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. Bills win 35-8 against the Jets. And then our final game to see who is going to win the North.
What a disappointing game.
It was a hell of a game though.
Right.
Very, very disappointing. But the Steelers won 26-24. And with that loss, so did Harbaugh. He lost his job. So those are all of the games. What game stuck out to you guys so we can move on to the wild card round?
Wide right. The Steelers Ravens. I mean, that was probably one of the most exciting games I've watched the second half of the season. Just the way that they played. They both were playing like, look, I know there's playoffs are depending on this. You know, if it wasn't the big thing with Luke going wide right on that field goal, you know, to win it. But if it wasn't for the extra point that was missed by the Pittsburgh kicker, you know, that they could have been a tie, but you know, he missed that extra point. So he was blessed is what he was, you know, with that missed kick by Luke. I mean, that thing, when he kicked it, you saw it's like he goes straight right. He knew it was gone right off the bat. He was like, you know, but to see what Boswell did with Loop at the end of the game, to go talk to him, you know, because Loop obviously is a very young kicker, and Boswell being the veteran he is. So for me, it was the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, one of the most exciting games of the second half of the season.
The question is if Justin Tucker was in that game, would he have made that kick?
Yes, it's Tucker. I don't care how he went to the massage parlor.
I mean, we didn't bring that up, but I mean, yeah. Anyway, Sarai, moving on. Sarai, what game stuck out to you?
I think the biggest game that stuck out to me was the Lions and Bears, like we just talked about. I mean, going up 16-0 in the first three quarters kind of made me questioning you know, the hype behind the Bears. They always say that Caleb Williams is a second half type of quarterback. He did come back with his team, and then they converted that 2-point conversion at the end. So yeah, I think that was a game for me at the beginning because I was just trying to figure out. I'm not going to say I was confused, but I was trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out where the Bears team was. I mean, you go 0 all the way through the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter, you guys wake up and say, "Hello, we have an NFL game." So yeah, I think that was the biggest game that I watched this weekend, and of course, because it did determine our seating as well. So yeah, that's the game that kind of stuck out to me this week.
Yeah, and Caleb Williams did go 20 for 33, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception, and he only got sacked once. One of the biggest things is that they wanted to fix that offensive line. And from last year to this year, we've seen him progressively getting better as far as extending plays and not getting sacked and actually throwing away the football. That's one frustration that we had as Eagle fans with Jalen Hurts last year. Reason why he got his knee injured was because he just holds on to the ball way too much. But they're starting to throw away the ball, and that's that. I'd rather you throw away the ball than take the sack, right? But I think he got significantly better at throwing the ball, and there's telltale signs that he is improving. So Jared Goff did go 27 for 42, though. 331 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He got sacked twice. Jahmyr Gibbs was carrying for 19. He carried 19 times, 80 yards with no touchdowns. That was a bigger disappointment in the last few weeks. We haven't really seen much of Gibbs giving what we thought he would give, and I think a lot of it had to do with those are the 2 main guys that have been playing all season is Gibbs and JMO. Those are the only dudes that have been really producing, in my opinion. With no Laporta, Amra is so wishy-washy. We really don't know if he's going to catch it or not catch it, right? Kind of like the CD Lamb problems. We don't know if he's going to catch or not catch it. But the most consistency is where you got was from JMO and from Gibbs, and we really didn't see much of Gibbs the last 3 weeks. The other concern that I might have is like going into this next season, what happens to the Lions? You got David Montgomery. Is he going to be coming back? Are you going to have Sonic and Knuckles again? Because he might have an opportunity to be the man somewhere, right? The other thing is as we've watched the Lions play, we have watched them go from NFC Championship division round and lose in the first round, now not make playoffs. So they have digressed for the last 3 years. Like, how do they come back, right? How they come back from all of this? Is Jared Goff really the answer? Is going for it for 4th down really that important in games for Dan Campbell? Is he going to be in the hot seat next year? There's a lot of questions to be answered because they are a talented team. It's just that they just need it. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered for next season. But they didn't make the playoffs this year. Looks like the Bears are going to go on. They won the division, and they'll go on to represent the North in the 2 seed. Going into the 2 seed versus the 7, Lions need a coaching change. I believe so. That's why I brought that up. But the thing I want to bring up is how crazy would it be that the Bears win division, the Packers go play them in Soldier Field and beat them and move on in the playoff round? Like, that just shows you how important, just important it is to play the season out to get into the playoffs, because you just never know, right? You play your division team that won the division and go beat them, and then it was irrelevant to even win that 2 seed, to win the division. So
and I mean, Caleb also had a great, season 2. He broke, I think, the single franchise record as well. He had 3,942 yards. So,
correct.
I mean, he broke that record. So
he did.
You broke a record for a non-passing team.
He'll never.
A record is a broken record is a broken record.
Yeah.
No. You don't count records as for team records. I'm sorry.
He's up there with quite a few that had a lot of yards.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I mean, considering he managed, I'll say this: he managed to get. It took him 16 weeks to not have more sacks than touchdowns. So, I mean, again, just proving my point once again.
I don't know what point you're trying to prove that he's not
as good as everyone thinks he is. People need to stop playing. He's such a good quarterback. When you got a team that he does, I'm sorry.
So he's not progressing. He sucks just as much as he did last year.
To me, he's not progressed. Not where it's like, oh, let's applaud him because he's so good. Oh, they won the division. No, again, look at the games. I've watched all of them. It was the kickers that have saved the Chicago Bears. That is why they have been successful this year.
Yeah, but it takes more than just the
kicker. Always takes. There's 50 men on the team. There's
no 11. It takes. I mean, the kicker is not going to kick from the 30-yard line on the opposite side of the field. He has 3,000 yards for 300,000 plus yards for a reason, because they got him into field goal range, regardless of what it is. And I get it. I get the fingernail painting. I get why you maybe dislike him, but you can't discredit the fact that he is better this year than he was last year. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback. I'm not saying he's Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying. All I'm saying is the man progressed. He got better than he's better this year than he was last year. I mean, who did he really get this year that a weapon that he got that was better than he got last year?
Everyone wants to talk about the offensive line, but yet he was still sacked 24 times.
Again, I'm going to reiterate what I just said. I'm saying that he progressed and got better than he did last year. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback, an elite quarterback. He's up with Joe Montana. He's going to win 5 Super Bowls. None of that. I'm saying he's a better quarterback this year than he was last year. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I guess we sell, we want to give people credit for mediocrity. 59% completion is what he had. Or actually, it was 58.9. The one quarterback that I hear a lot of people talk bad about is Jared Goff the answer. In Detroit, what have they done? Jared Goff had 4,564 yards passing. Had more touchdowns. Same amount of interceptions, but a lot of people want to talk about, oh, well, Jared Goff, what's going on with Detroit? What's going on with Jordan Love in Green Bay? What's going on with Dak in here? Like I said, you can sit there and talk about, has he progressed? He's progressed. But to try, everyone's trying to say like, hey, he's worth what he's worth. He's not. They've had plenty of teams, and plenty of players on that roster that we've talked about it in the system quarterback. Could you watch him be successful in San Francisco? 100%. Because that's the system style quarterback. That's what Ben Johnson has created, a system style quarterback. Average completion was 6.9 yards. Was his average completion. So that's where you have to look at it like, okay, yeah, he's been successful. A lot of short game passing. They're going to run similar to a West Coast, but it's not really. It's a spread West Coast, basically, is what they do in Chicago, because you also have DeAndre Swift out there, coming out of the backfield with over 1,000 yards rushing. So I'm just saying, is he as good as everyone says he is? No. Mm-hmm. Did he get better than last year? If you want to consider that. Like I said, I watched more of the games.
So I could save myself from this conversation. I'm going to say, for me, anybody that follows me, I don't want no part of everything else that's going on here. I'm going to say, for me, Caleb Williams got better than last year. I'm going to say that every rookie quarterback has an opportunity to finish out their rookie contract before I will say that they're a decent quarterback, not decent quarterback, or anything like that. Just for me, I'm going to say for me and mine's, I'm saying Caleb Williams got better than he did last year. He has a quarterback whisperer, and it is what it is. Okay, so just me and mine. What's going on over there in Detroit? I don't know, but for me, I'm going to save myself. Yeah, I can't. I just can't. At some point, you got to look at what's real and what's not. At the simple fact of just the point of the matter is not creating more questions with answers. The answer is did he get better this year than he did last year? And the answer is absolutely yes on my side and what I've seen. That's it.
On to the next one.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Moving on to the wild card round. We got the Rams at Panthers. Well, this is something that we've seen before, right? We've seen the Rams visit the Panthers in Carolina. Could there be an upset? It's minus 10.5 on the spread. And the money line is plus 440 for Carolina. Absolutely. There's a chance for the Panthers to do exactly what they're supposed to do. But that means that the Rams have to play not good football this time around. It's playoffs. One game you're out. I just think the Rams get it done here. But that's going to be a hell of a game. I think this is going to be more of a game than most people think it's going to be. It's going to be more of a battle than what most people think it's going to be. The way that they played against Arizona, they cannot play against the Panthers that way, or they will lose that game. So they have to be on all cylinders, and this will be the first game that Davante Adams is back. So we'll see that duo once again in the playoffs right there. The other game on Saturday going on is the night game would be the Packers versus the Bears. And again, guys, let me remind you that all primetime games will be on our show. Primetime sponsored, brought to you by the Sports Lounge Media. So check out DP and Dom as they present some of these primetime games. But the Packers go to Soldier Field to go play against the Bears. And can the Packers upset the Bears? Absolutely. I think 100%. I think that's the game should be watched on Saturday and paid attention to, because Packers might be going to visit Seattle, and that will be the game that would be pretty good, a game that could probably end up in some people's favor, thinking that Seattle might make it to the NFC Championship. Moving on to Sunday game, we got the 49ers and the Eagles. I won't spend too much time. It's the damn link. What do you guys want me to say here? Ricky Parcell might not play. Really, they got CMC and they got George Kittle. Defense really is dissipated. Could this be a game? Maybe if the Eagles don't show up, the Eagles really have to maybe throw some interceptions, sack fumbles, miss field goals.
Jalen Hurts is good at that.
At what?
Hasn't he been pretty good at throwing interceptions this year?
Absolutely not. Look up his stats, bro. What are we talking about?
Oh no, he's been taking the.
He had one bad game.
One bad game, which was a crucial game. I think people aren't giving the Niners credit because I have not been a believer in the 49ers, but to see what they've done with what they have.
I mean, we give them
to think it's not going to be a game. They were literally fighting for the number 1 seed last week,
as they should. I mean, give the Eagles that schedule. We'll be fighting for the 1 seed too.
Eagles had a pretty simple schedule. Not this.
That
they were at the bottom.
We had the third hardest
next year. I'm sorry. Next year they have an easier schedule. Sorry, I was thinking of next year's schedule. My apologies.
Yeah, we was about to roast games, bro. Hey, we'll blow out all day games they put together.
You would have been 13-4.
Hey, I'm telling you this right now. That game is going to be. That game is not going to be as far as a lot of people are trying to say. You know, the script has been set. It's in Santa Clara.
That doesn't mean anything. It's the same. It's the same conspiracy you were saying that everything's going to run through Levi. It's not. They lost. They lost to Seattle. It's not running through Levi anymore.
I'm talking about playoffs. I didn't say everything else. I'm talking about playoffs.
They
can't make noticeable.
Everything goes to there. They stay home. That everybody had that theory.
Noticeable.
It's not happening, bro.
We forfeited a 2 seed.
We actually did, though. If you really think about it,
it's about to snow for the 2-seeders.
Yeah, so I mean, we actually forfeited that 2 seed. To be honest,
we're okay with it.
Well, it's cool.
60s and sunny in Philly.
But anyway,
I don't care if we win 3-2.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. I mean, yeah, you can give him credit. I think this year was a big year for Kyle over there. I think he coached his ass off. Excuse my language. He coached his butt off this season, and he does need a cookie for that. He does need. I mean, that's what he's supposed to do, right? Is coach, and he did that. A lot of these other teams they make a lot of excuses, and he didn't make no excuses. He went and he performed, laced him up. Let's go. And with his system, he was successful with Mac Jones. He was successful with these guys. And he credit where credit is due. But it's playoffs, baby. It's time to. It's no more of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can't sit here and be. They've been exposed. We've seen what happens when Purdy's under pressure. We can't sit here and act like we didn't watch the Seattle game, you know? So, it could be a close game, but everything has to go wrong and everything has to go right for them. But moving on, we got the Bills versus the Jaguars. This is more of an interesting game. I think so. Jaguars been blowing out some teams. They definitely need probably a dozen of cookies, really, to be honest. Well, 13 to be exact, because they went 13-4. But the Bills. Now, I want to stop here real quick with the Bills. This is an opportunity for Josh Allen to finally, for once, not have to face or think about facing Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, or any of these guys. This is his opportunity and his window with a rush leader this year to not have to do it on his own and to go get the job done and make it to the Super Bowl. I'm not asking you to win the Super Bowl. I'm asking you to get to the Super Bowl. Can Josh Allen just get to the Super Bowl? And when you get there, we'll figure it out. Because the road to the Super Bowl is a lot easier than it has been in the last 4 or 5 years that you have made it into the playoffs and try to get the job done. You've been Superman for so long, and this is an opportunity for you to prove the naysayers wrong. Can you get it done? That is the question. Because if you lose in the first round, there's going to be a lot of people talking, and I'm going to be one of them. Now, Josh Allen is from close to my hometown. I'm a believer in him and Jordan Love, because Jordan Love's from Bakersfield and he's from Fireball, and I get it. I have love for Josh Allen, but people are very critical about him, but they're not critical that he used the same energy for Jalen Hurts. Boy, if you don't get your butt to the Super Bowl, I have questions. I have questions for you, because you got to hold the same energy across the board for all quarterbacks if they're not going to hold it for Josh. That's all I got to say for this one.
I got to say something for that. Who is Jalen had to throw to? He's had receivers, right?
Yeah, receivers.
Yeah, he's had multiple 1,000-yard receivers. This is his first year that he actually doesn't have 2,000-yard receivers. The leading receiver in Buffalo is 784 yards.
He had two wide receivers that went over 1,000.
Did AJ Brown hit 1,000?
He had 1,000 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Devontae Smith caught this.
Both of ours have.
Devontae Smith this last game caught 2 passes to get him over 1,000. He had 1,008 or 1,010 or something like that.
My point is the leading receiver in Buffalo is 784 yards.
Yeah, and he also had a rushing leader this year.
He had a rushing leader this year. How many yards did the Saquon have last year?
That's the point. Exactly.
Nobody. There's always something. That's the point. The point is, hey, he's finally got a rush game, but he don't have receivers.
Okay, so the point is that last year, for some reason, everybody was so critical about the fact that Saquon Barkley carried us to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. This year, I am looking at James Cook, and I am saying the same energy that I would give Saquon Barkley for carrying the Eagles. I want Josh and James to carry them to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. Have the same damn energy.
Again, 2,000-yard receivers with a 2,000-yard rusher compared to, yes, you have a 1,600-yard rusher and your leading receiver is 784 yards.
The other point is that
look at the defense. Philadelphia has one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Absolutely, 100%. But they
got crap.
The point, but they made it to the AFC Championship
with nothing. Give Josh Allen what Jalen Hurts has. You're damn right he's going to win a Super Bowl. Come on. We've had these conversations, brother.
Come on, man. We're not going to go there. Look.
You got to look at it those way. Everyone wants to give the guy a hard time. He don't have anybody compared to.
Then don't go to the playoffs then.
No, you're always playing for the playoffs. You can't be like, we're going to do this.
I'm going to hold you to the same standard as everybody else. The fact that Jalen Hurts had to go through what he had to go through last year of the teams that he had to play compared to what Josh Allen has to go through this year to get to the Super Bowl is way easier. Way easier for him. His road to the Super Bowl is way easier. He cannot get it done this year with the teams he has to play. That's crazy for me. We're having a rushing leader and having him as Superman. Everybody says Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Prove it then. Prove it this year. Throw the damn ball.
Hold on. Denver has one of the best defenses in the NFL, right?
They top 5, yeah.
Top 5.
But they drop in the last 5 weeks. But we'll still keep them at the top 5.
Okay. So the Bills have to beat the Jags. Jags are running on all cylinders.
Is Trevor Lawrence a better quarterback than Josh Allen? Yes or no?
No.
Get the job done. Has he
been more successful than Josh Allen this year? Yes.
They're one game behind, bro.
Let's focus on stats.
Look at the stats. 4,000 yards to 3,600. Again, no receivers.
You said
that's my point.
46?
4,000 yards for Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
3,600 for Josh Allen.
What are we talking about? 400 yards? We talking about 400 yards? We're talking about yards?
That's 2 games for some quarterbacks in the NFL.
Not Josh Allen. He's Superman.
He had to be Superman when he had no run game. All of a sudden he gets a run game. He don't have receivers. But everyone wants to say, look at the road. So again, you've got a team that's putting up points because Etienne had 1,200 yards rushing compared to 1,600. Yes, it's 400 yards. That's what we got. We got 400 yards. That's the separation between the two. Oh, does that make them even?
I think the biggest thing, though, I think the point that Mike is making is that the quarterbacks now that he is about to face, most don't consider them elite. Like they have never seen a playoff run, Drake May. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks that have been in the playoffs and been successful that he's not going to face this time around. So I think that's what people are seeing that's going to make it a lot easier on the run.
So
a lot of it's going to be first timers. I mean,
again, you have.
Thank you for clarifying that. That's what I'm saying.
Trevor Lawrence has been to the AFC Championship, just to remind you guys, twice. So don't sit there and say, "Oh, he's never done it." He's been just as successful when it comes to the playoffs as Josh Allen. People have to remember that. They tend to forget that because why? Trevor Lawrence also had nothing. Now, all of a sudden, he has had a team. He has been successful this year. It is 400 yards. So he's got to go through Jacksonville. You talk about being easy. They're averaging 30-plus points a game right now. Then he's got to face a top 5. Let's say if he wins, he's got to face a top 5 defense with the Denver Broncos. Right? Because, I mean, we all know that the Chargers aren't going to get past the Patriots.
We don't know that.
He's got to go play then he's got to go play one of the top teams in the NFL when it comes to the Patriots, one of the highest point stats of the year. We all know Buffalo ain't got a defense; it's got to go off of offense. So no, he doesn't have the simple schedule that everyone wants to say. He has to go through towns because, again, just like we saw in the group message or in the messages, winning is all that matters. Well, guess what? Those teams that he's having to face all won more games than he did this year. So I think that proves the point right there. And that's not using stats.
And Trevor Lawrence hasn't been to an AFC championship game.
He has been to an AFC championship because he lost.
When did he go? What year?
If I remember correctly, it was the second year.
Or was you're talking about the 2022 season he did it.
Or did he? Was that the
divisional round? He lost to the Chiefs. An elite quarterback.
Don't get me started on that one.
Mahomes is an elite quarterback.
All I'm saying is our road to, if we're comparing last year to this year, our road to the Super Bowl was a lot harder than what Josh Allen has to face this year to get to the Super Bowl. He does not have to face against elite quarterbacks this year. He's playing against Drake May,
number one leading, he was number one quarterback.
Well, are these quarterbacks better? Yes or no, Mark? Be real.
No, I'll be real. No, this is my argument. Everyone wants to say, "Oh, well," and this is me not looking at it as a fan. This is looking at a person who's looking at the whole thing, not because of my team, because Josh Allen is not my team. Everyone wants to look at the whole thing. Let's look at the whole thing. When you look at Jalen Hurts, is Jalen Hurts a better quarterback than Josh Allen?
No, stick to what we're saying. In the AFC bracket,
Drake May the number one quarterback in the NFL right now in the AFC.
The road, huh?
Is Drake May the number one passer in the AFC right now?
Is he better than Josh Allen? Yes or no?
That's not the question.
That is not going to matter when it's experience and who is the better quarterback. And when the time matters the most, who would you rather have behind center? Would you rather have Drake May or would you rather have Allen getting you to the Super Bowl? Which one?
You know who's going to win that game? And when it comes down to it, if New England and Buffalo have to play each other, I truly do think New England's going to win. Why? It's because of the coaching. Because
I have a question.
That Vrabel has.
Has Josh Allen played in an AFC championship?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, going back to the quarterbacks that are currently in the playoffs,
no, none of them have.
Any of them? Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and go off of what everyone's done before then.
I'm saying who is the best quarterback that's going to carry their team to the Super Bowl?
Team when it comes to the AFC side. Are the Bills the best team?
It's a different picture. It's a different beast.
No. Because remember, it's 11 players on the field.
0-0 starting Saturday.
It's 53 teams. Correct. But who's the better team on the AFC side?
I guess
not quarterback. Because everything doesn't get relied on the quarterback. Who's the best team in the AFC?
To be honest, this year, I feel like it's been up and down with several teams. Like, I don't think one team has ever led anywhere as far as the AFC or the NFC. I don't see one team that has been dominant that I can say they are going to make the Super Bowl no matter what.
I don't think that's across everything. The entire NFL.
I do.
I think we saw a lot of down plays.
I can say three teams in the NFC that could potentially make the Super Bowl though. I can't say that for the AFC.
Okay. But again, when you look at the AFC, who's the best team?
Who's the best team of what?
In the AFC.
Who's the best team in the AFC?
Yes. Who is the most rounded team in the AFC?
Well, you're saying well-rounded.
That's what you got to have. It's three levels of the game: offense, defense, special teams.
I mean, the Bears were well-rounded, and they went 16-0 for first three quarters. So it's hard to determine that.
I guess you can say. man, in the AFC, the three teams that I would probably it would have to be. I'm looking at the Texans. I'm looking at the Bills potentially, and I'm looking at probably the Patriots.
The Texans, the Bills, and the Patriots. So you don't think that the Broncos, who are a top 5 team,
They have a top five. They have a top five defense. Offensively, they struggle between Sean Payton and Bo Nix. They're not on the same page at all throughout the whole entire season. They had 4 games that they had to come back behind in the fourth quarter, and they are still struggling all through the entire season to prove that they're that juggernaut team. Now now the record says that they're 1 seed, but that doesn't when it gets into the playoffs, we're gonna see who they really are, because the quarterback is gonna matter. Bo Nix does make a lot of errors, and this is where it's gonna cost you when you play against teams that are fighting for the same thing that you are. And the fact that in the first round you're not playing against like a 7 seed. You're not playing against, and when you're number 1, you're playing against like probably 1 through 4, maybe 1 through 5. You know what I'm saying? You're not playing 6 and 7.
but if you're
No. Anyway,
but I mean, you got the 1 seed, and again, if the Bills win, they play the Broncos,
and they
so
beat them.
Bills are the 6 seed.
Yeah, and the Bills beat them.
Do I want to see the Bills? Yeah, I do. But again, when you look at the versatility and everything that's going on,
And the Jags, I would throw the Jags in that conversation, but they've been a little sketchy on defense.
so the Jags are the most well-rounded team. That's what we got from down south Philly, which the Bills have to beat them, and they're not the most well-rounded. Then you got the Broncos, who we all know it's a running defense. The problem is the Bills have a great running team. They do. They have the leading rusher, but their defense is not that good. That is where they're struggling, and that's what everyone's got to remember. They're going to have to outthrow them. They're going to have to do everything.
And he can do it.
Not with the receivers that he has, though.
He's done it this season with the receivers that he's had. He's proved it over and over and over again.
We can agree to disagree.
Want to pull his schedule up, bro? Like, are we serious right now?
Like I said, we can agree to disagree.
They scored 39 points on the. I just pulling it up. 39 points on the Bengals, bro. They scored 44 points on the Buccaneers. They scored 30. They scored 40 points on the Panthers. Who else is another playoff team? 26-7 on the Steelers. They score the football. They don't have a problem scoring the damn football.
If Allen goes, I don't know what Super Saiyan is.
Just means he goes crazy.
Oh, okay.
Hero ball.
It's a Dragon Ball Z term.
I can tell that I'm old.
Nah, that's during our time. Dragon Ball Z came out.
No, bro, I didn't have Dragon Ball Z. You got to remember, I'm younger than you.
Oh yeah, we had Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, we had Transformers and Power Rangers.
Oh, we had Power Rangers too. Anyway, I mean, he could be I'm with you, DP. I'm like, this is the easiest route to the Super Bowl. He does not do it this season, bro. That's why we saying that McDermott can get fired.
Yeah. So, what other game we got?
Yeah. Back to the games.
We're gonna agree to disagree on some things.
In the last 2 games, we got the Chargers visiting the Patriots, and on Monday Night Football, we have the Texans playing the Steelers. I think that's going to be more of an interesting game than most. Texans, I believe, will win that game, but Aaron Rodgers with them just makes that game interesting. And TJ Watt is back and playing healthy. Thank God. Him and his brother has been dealing with some stuff. So
And DK is back.
And DK is back. Yeah, DK is back. He might punch somebody, but he'd be back. Those are the games. What game sticks out to you guys before we finish?
I'm going to agree with you on that Monday night game, that Texans Steelers. Are we going to see a playoff Aaron Rodgers that does pretty well in the playoffs?
Yeah. It's in Pittsburgh, by the way, too.
Yeah, against a great defense. You know, the spread is actually -3 for Houston, so they're not giving Pittsburgh the home field advantage whatsoever.
They're plus 136 for the money line too, so they're not giving them no respect right there. You're at home. You're supposed to get 3. Yeah,
so they're basically giving up 6. That's what they're giving up.
Yeah, outside of my game, I mean, I would love to watch my game, but I don't think my game is the most interesting game. I think the most interesting game is going to be that Packers versus Bears. The fact that the 7 seed is going to play the 2 seed, I feel like the Packers have enough to beat the Bears. I think they have the most experience, and it's one game you're out. So I'm going to go with that Saturday night game. As you guys tune into primetime sports with DP and Dom, watch that Packers and Bears game in Soldier Field. So right,
Packers are favored.
They are.
Took my choice.
Huh?
I said you took my choice.
Pick another one. What's another Sunday game? There's plenty of games. This is playoffs, baby. Come on now.
Probably another interesting game that is going to be good to watch is going to be the Rams and the Panthers for sure. I want to see kind of, how they're both going to play out. See kind of, like you said, Devontae Adams is coming back. Let's see how that duo kind of comes back to playing together after the injury. And yeah, it's going to be a good game to watch.
Good game. Cool. All right. Well, this is the segment where we usually go with our top 10. Oh, we didn't do this. My bad. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
This segment is brought to you by Number One Sports Fan. Welcome to the lounge.
Cool.
I agree, Junkie. Panthers with the upset.
Yeah, we praying about that. We've been praying about that. The next we're going to talk about this real quick. Go ahead, Sarai.
Yeah, so this is Sky. Everyone, meet my buddy Sky. Sky is a border collie. She is 2 years old, 35 pounds. She is calm and shy. She's fully vaccinated and spayed, chipped. Currently needs a foster and adopter. She is dog friendly. You can always visit us at heartsandhounds.org for more information, or you can always scan the QR code there to get more information regarding adoptions. If you'd like to donate, we are a 501 nonprofit organization as well. You can always check out the Amazon list listed on the website, or you can always make a donation towards their fostering fees, their medical fees, or even their fees needed for other needs.
Awesome. Yeah, getting back. Real quick, we're gonna run through these. We're gonna run through these really quick. Guys, just let us know who you got as we go through these. We usually do who's our top 5, but today we are going to pick the games. We're going to pick the games for this weekend and who we think is going to win and move on. Real quick, guys, on Saturday's game, Rams versus Panthers. Who do you got?
Panthers.
I got Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, as much as I want to say Panthers, I'm going to go with the Rams. All right, moving on. Packers versus Bears.
Packers.
Cool. We're on unison. Packers. I thought we're going to be like a Baptist church. All right, moving on. On Sunday's game, we got Niners versus Eagles. Who do we got?
Are we gonna do you guys really need to ask you guys that question? I mean, that's like a rhetorical question.
You gotta be real though. You gotta be real. No bias.
Mark, we're waiting on your answer. The clock is ticking. You're on the clock.
We got birds.
I'm on the clock. Look, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Eagles, but I would like to see the Niners.
Just say Eagles.
No, I'm gonna say the Niners just because I got to cause debate.
Okay.
He wants the Niners. We got Eagles. All right, so we got Bills and we got Jaguars, y'all.
Bills.
After that, all that debate, this comes around and still picks the damn Bills. Oh, you pissed me off, bro. All right, moving on, bro. All right, so Chargers versus Patriots.
Patriots.
I got an upset here, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. I got the Chargers.
Is Dupree in your ear right now?
Nah, he's not.
Send you a text.
I will say this. So Jim
Yeah.
has made a call and is one of the guys that says he wants to coach with his brother. He wants him to go to the Chargers.
That'd be interesting. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm a ride with the Chargers with the experience. I think even though the Patriots are a better team, I think they make a few mistakes that are going to cost them in the game. So I'm a ride with the Chargers. Texans and Steelers.
Defense.
Steelers.
It's defense all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans on this one. Now, Mike Tomlin might lose his job. But anyway.
Mike's safe.
Anyways, I think that's it, guys. We got an incredible show. Thank you guys all for joining us. We got High State. What's going on? Oh, you got that? Okay. High State got Rams, Packers, Eagles, Pats, Jags, and Steelers. I believe he's from Hawaii, right?
Hawaii, Jake.
So from State Farm?
From State Farm.
Does he have the khakis?
And the red shirt.
Nice. But that's it from us, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this hump day. And we will catch you next Wednesday as we talk about the next round of playoffs. So we in it. It's gonna be exciting. We'll see how this all turns out. Hopefully it all turns out great. And we have some very good competitive games. That's all we're hoping for. And we're praying that there's no injuries.
Can't wait to see Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But that's it from us. We appreciate you guys all. Join us at www.sportsloungemedia.com. You can visit us there as we get into the postseason. We'll see you guys next week.
This segment is brought to you by Brian Martino Construction. Welcome to the